I didn't know he was watching me. Episode 6. Olympic Park at 1:45 p.m. was exactly what Ada expected. Families walking, joggers passing, couples taking photos. The kind of public space where violence seemed impossible and screaming would draw immediate attention. Which was exactly why David Chen had chosen it. Ada sat on a bench near the southeast entrance, wearing jeans and a light jacket. Her phone was in her pocket. Lieutenant Park's training ran through her mind on a loop. Stay aware, know your exits, trust your instincts. Jaehyun's security was somewhere in the park. She couldn't see them, but she knew they were there. 2 teams, one close, one distant. Orders to intervene only if things went violent. This was her meeting, her choice, her terms. At exactly 2:00 p.m., a man sat down beside her. He was American, mid-50s, graying hair cut military short, expensive watch, lines around his eyes that spoke of too many sleepless nights. He wore casual clothes, jeans, a polo shirt, but carried himself like someone used to authority. "Ada," he said, not a question, a statement. "David Chen." "Thank you for coming." His voice was the same one from the phone calls. Calm, measured, the voice of someone who'd spent years waiting for this moment. "You didn't give me much choice." "There's always a choice. You chose to come. You chose to demand this meeting. You chose to take control of your own story." He looked at her. "I respect that." Ada studied his face, looked for signs of the monster who'd terrorized Lynn, who'd filmed women sleeping, who'd manipulated her entire life. What she saw was a tired man carrying grief like a weight. "Show me the evidence," she said. "Everything you claim to have. Prove to me you manipulated my life. Prove my mother's debt was your doing. Prove I was placed in Jaehyun's path on purpose." David reached into a messenger bag at his feet, pulled out a folder, set it on the bench between them. "Before you look at this," he said, "I need you to understand something. I didn't want to do this to you. You were collateral damage, an innocent person caught in something that had nothing to do with you, and I'm sorry for that, genuinely sorry." "Open the folder." He opened it. The first document was a timeline. On the left, events in Ada's life. On the right, corresponding actions taken by someone else. March 2024. Ada's mother's fabric business loses 3 major clients in 1 week. March 2020, 4*. Anonymous competitor undercuts prices by 40%, makes deals impossible to match. April 2024. Family debt reaches critical point. April 2020, 4*. Anonymous investor buys the competitor, immediately raises prices back to normal levels. May 2024. Ada applies to jobs in Korea. May 2024. Of 47 applications, only 1 responds. Building management company in Gangnam. June 2024. Ada arrives in Seoul, begins work. June 2024. Jaehyun's regular building inspection schedule mysteriously changes to include lobby visits. Ada's hands were shaking. She forced them still. "This proves nothing," she said. "Correlation isn't causation. These could be coincidences." "Keep reading." The next page was financial records, wire transfers, an anonymous account in the Cayman Islands funding the competitor who destroyed her mother's business. The same account later funding the building management company that hired Ada. All traced back to a shell corporation. All owned by David Chen. Ada's vision blurred. She blinked hard. "You destroyed my mother's business. I created a crisis that would force you to seek work abroad. Yes. You manipulated my employment. I ensured you got hired in Jaehyun's building. Yes. You engineered our meeting. I changed his inspection schedule, made sure he'd see you, made sure you'd be in the right place at the right time. But Ada," David's voice softened, "I didn't make him notice you, I didn't make him care. I didn't make him fall in love. That was real. Whatever else is true, that was real." Ada wanted to throw up, wanted to scream, wanted to run. Instead, she asked, Why go through all this? Why not go after him directly?" Because I tried. For 4 years, I tried everything. Legal channels, building a case through evidence, working with Korean authorities. Every time I hit a wall, Jaehyun is too connected, too protected, too careful. I could never get close enough to hurt him. Until I realized he doesn't let people close, he doesn't have weaknesses, he doesn't care about anything enough to be vulnerable. So you created a weakness for him. I created an opportunity. I found someone who could get close to him in a way no one else could. Someone innocent. Someone he wouldn't suspect. Someone who could make him lower his guard. You made me a weapon without my knowledge. Yes. Ada stared at the documents, at the proof of her life being manipulated, at evidence that every choice she'd thought was hers had actually been guided by someone else's hand. My mother, she said, her voice cracked. My mother's business, her debt, the stress, the shame, you did that to her, to punish someone she's never met. Yes, and I will carry that guilt for the rest of my life. Guilt doesn't fix it. No, it doesn't. Ada closed the folder, set it aside, looked at David Chen. Tell me about Marcus, your partner, tell me what really happened. David was quiet for a moment, then he started talking. Marcus Chen, no relation, different family, was the best investigator I ever worked with. Brilliant, dedicated, incorruptible. He spent 2 years building a case against organized crime operations in Seoul. Human trafficking, money laundering, drug distribution. He had evidence that would have brought down a dozen operations, including Jaehyun's. Jaehyun was implicated, not the primary target, but involved enough that the investigation would have destroyed his empire. Marcus knew it, and he knew people would try to stop him. He asked for protection, for backup, for resources to finish the job safely. And the agency dragged its feet. Budget concerns, jurisdictional issues, politics. By the time they approved his request, it was too late. He was found dead in an alley in Itaewon, single gunshot, made to look like a robbery. Jaehyun says he didn't order it. He didn't, I've verified that much. The hit came from someone else, someone higher up the chain, someone Marcus was closer to exposing. But Jaehyun knew it was going to happen. He heard rumors. He could have warned Marcus, could have given him time to get out, and he chose not to, because Marcus's death solved his problem too. Ada absorbed this. So you've spent 5 years planning revenge against a man who didn't pull the trigger but let it happen anyway. Yes. Ada stopped, tried to find the right words. That's insane. You destroyed my mother's livelihood. You manipulated my entire life. You terrorized trauma survivors. You've become exactly what you're trying to punish. I know. Then why do it? David looked at her, really looked at her, and Ada saw something she recognized. The same thing she saw in the mirror sometimes. The look of someone who'd lost themselves in trying to make sense of something senseless. Because if I stop, David said quietly, then Marcus died for nothing. If I walk away, if I let Jaehyun continue operating with impunity, then my partner's death meant nothing. And I can't accept that. So I keep going, even when it makes me a monster, even when I hurt innocent people, because stopping feels like betraying Marcus all over again. That's grief talking, not justice. I know that too. They sat in silence. Around them, the park continued its afternoon. People living normal lives, unaware of the conversation happening on this bench. What do you want from me? Ada asked finally. I want you to wear a wire. Get Jaehyun to talk about Marcus, about what he knew and when. Get him to admit he could have prevented the death and chose not to. Give me that confession, and I can build a case that might actually stick. And if I refuse? Then I send Jaehyun all of this. David gestured to the folder. Every document, every wire transfer, every piece of evidence that you were placed in his path deliberately, and I watch as the doubt destroys what you've built together. You do that, even knowing it would hurt me as much as it hurts him. Yes, because you're collateral damage, Ada. You always were, and I'm sorry for that. But Marcus deserves justice more than you deserve happiness. Ada wanted to argue, wanted to tell him he was wrong. That happiness mattered. That love mattered. that destroying innocent people in pursuit of the dead was madness. But she understood him, despite everything, despite the manipulation and the cruelty and the calculated destruction of her life. She understood what it meant to hold on to something, because letting go felt like death. "I need to think," she said. "You have until tomorrow, noon. Then I send everything to Jaehyun and let the pieces fall where they will." Ada stood up, started to walk away, then stopped. "The women at the shelter," she said. "The video, filming them while they slept, that was you." "Yes." "Why? They have nothing to do with this." "Because you needed to understand that I'm serious, that I will do whatever it takes, even things that make me hate myself." "You're right," Ada said. "You have become a monster. Marcus would be ashamed of what you've done in his name." She saw the words land, saw David flinch like she'd struck him. "Good." Ada walked away, through the park, past the families and joggers and couples, past the normal people living normal lives. She made it to the parking area before her legs gave out. She sat down on a curb, put her head in her hands, and tried to breathe. A car pulled up. Jaehyun got out. He sat beside her on the curb, didn't touch her, just sat there. "How much did you hear?" Ada asked. "Everything. You were wired. Not for him, for me. I needed to hear what he had to say." Ada should have been angry, should have felt violated, but she was too exhausted. "Is it true?" she asked. "About my mother's business, about my employment, was our meeting really engineered?" Jaehyun pulled out his phone, showed her a report. "My people finished their investigation this morning. David Chen did fund the competitor. He did manipulate the employment records. He did change my schedule. Everything he said is true." "So we're a lie?" "No, the circumstances that brought us together are a lie. What happened after, that's real." "How can you know that?" "Because I know what I feel, and I know you can't manufacture that. David created an opportunity for us to meet. He didn't create what I felt when I saw you. He didn't create the way you made me want to be better. He didn't create any of what we've built." Ada laughed. It came out broken. "He destroyed my mother's business, Jaehyun. He put my family in debt. He forced me to come to Korea. Every choice I thought was mine was actually him pulling strings." "I know, and if you want to walk away from this, from me, because of that, I'll understand. I'll let you go. I'll make sure you and your family are taken care of. But Ada, don't let him take this from us. Don't let him win by making you believe our feelings aren't real." "I don't know what's real anymore." Jaehyun was quiet. Then, "Do you love me?" "Yes." "Did someone tell you to love me? Did David program that somehow? Did he manipulate your emotions?" "No, but—" "Then that's real. That's yours. Whatever circumstances brought us together, what we chose to do with those circumstances, that's ours." Ada wanted to believe him, wanted it so desperately. But the doubt was there, growing like cancer. "He wants me to wear a wire," she said, "to get you to confess about Marcus Chen, about knowing he was in danger and not warning him." "Are you going to do it?" "I don't know, should I? Do you deserve to pay for what you did, or didn't do?" Jaehyun looked at her. "Yes, I probably do. I let a good man die because it was convenient for me, because warning him would have exposed me. I chose my empire over his life, and I've regretted it every day since. But regret doesn't bring him back, and wearing a wire won't either. But it might give David closure. It might give Marcus's death meaning." "Is that your job? To sacrifice our relationship so a grieving man can have closure?" "Maybe, if it's the right thing to do." "And is it the right thing?" Ada didn't answer, couldn't answer. They sat on the curb in silence. Two people whose entire relationship might have been built on manipulation. Two people trying to figure out what was real and what was engineered. Finally, Ada said, "I need time. I need to think without you here, without David's deadline, without pressure. I need to figure out what I actually want." "Okay, how much time?" "I don't know. A few days, maybe longer." "Where will you go?" "Jisoo's. She has a spare room. I'll stay there until I figure things out." Jaehyun nodded, stood up, offered her his hand. She took it, let him pull her up. I love you, he said. Whatever you decide, that won't change. I love you too. That's what makes this so hard. He drove her to Jisoo's apartment, helped carry her hastily packed bag inside. Jisoo met them at the door, took one look at Ada's face, and pulled her into a hug. I'll take care of her, Jisoo said to Jaehyun. Thank you. He left without looking back. Ada collapsed on Jisoo's couch and told her everything. The meeting, David's confession, the evidence, the manipulation, all of it. When she finished, Jisoo was quiet for a long time. What are you going to do? She asked finally. I don't know. David's deadline is tomorrow at noon. Either I agree to wear the wire or he sends everything to Jaehyun and destroys whatever trust we have left. Do you think Jaehyun doesn't already know? You said he was listening to the whole meeting. He knows about the manipulation, but seeing the documents, seeing proof that our entire relationship was engineered, that's different from hearing about it. That makes it real in a way that will haunt him forever. So you're protecting him. I'm protecting us, what we have, what might be real. Or you're delaying the inevitable. Ada looked at her friend. You think I should just let David send it? I think, Jisoo paused. I think you need to decide who you are in this story. Are you the woman who sacrifices everything to protect a relationship that might be built on lies? Or are you the woman who demands the truth, no matter how painful, and builds something real on honest ground? That sounds like you think I should wear the wire. I think Marcus Chen deserved better than dying in an alley. I think David Chen deserves closure, even if his methods are terrible. And I think you deserve to know, definitively, who Jaehyun really is. Not the version he shows you, not the version he wants to be, but who he actually is when faced with hard choices. He's already told me. He said he let Marcus die because warning him would expose his operation. He told you that after you already knew, after he had time to craft a narrative, after he could frame it as regret and growth. But what would he say if you asked him cold? If you got him talking without preparation, would the story be the same, or would you learn something new? Ada hadn't thought of it that way. You think he's still lying? I think everyone lies when the truth is inconvenient. I think Jaehyun is very good at controlling narratives. And I think the only way to know who he really is, what he's really capable of, is to hear him when he doesn't know you're recording. That's a betrayal. So is manipulating your entire life to get close to him. So is letting a federal agent die. So is terrorizing trauma survivors. Everyone in this story has betrayed someone, Ada. The question is which betrayal you can live with. Ada spent the rest of the evening thinking, packing Jisoo's small apartment, looking out at Seoul, trying to figure out what the right choice was. At midnight, her phone buzzed. Jaehyun, are you okay? Ada, no, but I will be. Jaehyun, I meant what I said. I love you, whatever you decide. Ada, I know. She put the phone down, stared at the ceiling. At 1 a.m., another text. David Chen. 11 hours until deadline. Have you decided? Ada didn't respond. At 2 a.m., she finally fell asleep. She dreamed of her mother, of the fabric shop, of the day they'd lost the major clients, her mother's face trying to hide the worry, trying to stay strong for her daughters. All of it engineered, all of it manipulated, by a man seeking revenge for someone Ada had never met. She woke up at 6 a.m. with tears on her face and a decision in her heart. She texted David Chen. I'll do it. I'll wear the wire, but on my conditions. I choose when. I choose the questions. And after this is done, you leave me alone. Forever, you don't contact me, you don't use me. You don't manipulate my life ever again. This is the last time. The response came immediately. Agreed. I'll send instructions for pickup. Thank you, Ada. This means everything. Ada put the phone down, felt something break inside her chest. She was betraying Jaehyun, the man she loved, the man who'd shown her a different version of herself, the man who'd made her feel powerful and seen and important. But she was also getting justice for Marcus Chen, and closure for David. And maybe she was finding out the truth about who Jaehyun really was. Jisoo emerged from her bedroom, saw Ada's face. You decided. I'm wearing the wire. Jisoo nodded, sat beside her, took her hand. This is going to hurt, she said quietly. I know. You might lose him. I know that too. Are you sure? Ada thought about her mother, about Marcus Chen, about all the people who'd been hurt by powerful men making convenient choices. I'm sure. At 10 a.m., Ada picked up the wire from a dead drop location David had specified. A small device, nearly invisible. She could wear it under her clothes and no one would know. At 11 a.m., she texted Jaehyun. Can we talk? I want to come home. His response was immediate. Of course, I'm here. At noon, Ada walked into the penthouse wearing a wire. Jaehyun was waiting. He looked tired, worried, hopeful. You came back, he said. I needed to talk to you, about everything, about us, about what's real and what isn't. Okay, he gestured to the couch. Let's talk. They sat down. Ada's heart was pounding so hard she was sure he could hear it. I need to understand something, she said. About Marcus Chen, about what really happened. Jaehyun's expression shifted, guarded. I told you what happened. I know what you told me, but I need to understand it, really understand it. Walk me through it. The investigation. What Marcus was looking into. What you knew and when you knew it. Ada. Please, I need this. I need to understand how you made that choice. I need to hear you explain it, all of it. Jaehyun studied her face, looking for something. Ada kept her expression open, vulnerable, desperate for understanding. Finally, he nodded. Okay, he said, I'll tell you everything. And he did. He told her about Marcus Chen's investigation, about how thorough he'd been, how close he'd gotten to exposing operations that had been running for decades, about the panic in certain circles when it became clear Marcus couldn't be bought or scared off. He told her about the meetings, the discussions about what to do, the plans being made. He told her about hearing the rumors, about knowing Marcus was in danger, about the exact moment he could have made a phone call, could have sent a warning, and chose not to. I told myself it wasn't my responsibility, Jaehyun said. That I hadn't ordered the hit, that I wasn't the one pulling the trigger, that I was just staying out of it. But that was a lie. I knew what staying silent meant. I knew Marcus would die. And I let it happen because it solved my problem. Do you regret it? Every single day. It's the one thing I would change if I could. The one choice that haunts me. Why? Because Marcus Chen was a good man. Because he was trying to do the right thing. Because he deserved better than dying alone in an alley. And because I had the power to save him and chose not to. That's not something you come back from. That's not something you forgive yourself for. Ada felt tears on her face. Then why did you do it? Because I was afraid, because I was selfish. Because in that moment my empire mattered more than his life. And I hate myself for that. But I can't change it. All I can do is try to be better, try to make different choices, try to deserve the second chance you've given me. Do you think you deserve it, the second chance? Jaehyun was quiet. Then, no, probably not, but I'm taking it anyway, because you make me want to be the man you see when you look at me, even if I'm not sure that man actually exists. Ada's hand moved to the wire under her shirt. This was it. This was the confession David needed. Jaehyun admitting he knew Marcus was in danger, admitting he could have prevented it, admitting he chose his empire over a good man's life. This was justice for Marcus Chen. This was closure for David. This was the end of her relationship with Jaehyun. Thank you for telling me, Ada said. Her voice was steady. For being honest. Are you okay? No, but I will be. Jaehyun reached for her hand. She let him take it. I love you, he said. I love you too. They sat there, hand in hand, while the wire recorded everything, while David Chen listened from wherever he was, while Ada's heart broke into pieces small enough to never be whole again. Finally, Ada stood up. I need to go, she said. Where? I need some air. I'll be back. She walked to the elevator, pressed the button. The doors opened. Ada, Jaehyun's voice behind her. She turned. Are you wearing a wire? The world stopped. Ada's blood turned to ice. What? Jaehyun stood up, crossed to her slowly. His expression was unreadable. I asked if you're wearing a wire, recording this conversation, for David Chen. I don't, how did you? Because I know you, and I know when you're afraid, and you've been afraid since you walked in, not of me, of what you're doing. He stopped in front of her. Show me. Ada's hands were shaking. She couldn't speak, couldn't move. Jaehyun reached out, slowly, giving her time to stop him, lifted the edge of her shirt. The wire was there, taped to her skin, recording everything. He looked at it, then at her. His expression didn't change. Okay, he said quietly. Jaehyun, It's okay, I understand. You're not angry. He stopped. I'm disappointed and hurt, but not angry. You did what you thought was right, what you needed to do. I can't be angry about that. I betrayed you. You chose justice over love. That's not betrayal. That's integrity, even if it destroys us. Ada was crying now, really crying. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I know. He gently removed the wire, held it up, spoke clearly into it. David Chen, you have your confession. I knew Marcus was in danger. I could have warned him. I chose not to. I let a good man die to protect my interests. That's the truth. Do with it what you will. But leave Ada out of this now. She's done enough. She's paid enough. Let her go. He set the wire on the counter. You should go, he said to Ada, before I say something that makes this harder. Jaehyun. Please, just go. Ada stepped into the elevator. The doors closed. She made it to the lobby before she collapsed. Security found her there, crying on the marble floor, unable to stand. They called Jisoo. Back at Jisoo's apartment, Ada lay in bed staring at nothing. The wire had been delivered to David Chen. The confession had been made. Justice for Marcus was in motion. And her relationship with Jaehyun was over. Her phone buzzed. David Chen. Thank you, I know what this cost you. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. Marcus would be grateful. Ada didn't respond. Another text. Jaehyun. I meant what I said. I love you. And I understand why you did it. When you're ready to talk, I'll be here. If you're never ready, I'll understand that too. Ada turned off her phone. Jisoo came in, sat on the edge of the bed. You did it, she said. I destroyed everything. You got justice for someone who deserved it. At what cost? At the cost it always takes. The cost of doing the right thing when the right thing hurts. Ada closed her eyes. I don't feel righteous, I feel broken. That's because you loved him. Real love doesn't make hard choices easy. It makes them unbearable. But you made the choice anyway. That takes courage. I don't feel courageous. You will, eventually. That night, Ada dreamed of Marcus Chen, a man she'd never met, dying alone in an alley because powerful people found his death convenient. She dreamed of Jaehyun's face when he discovered the wire, the moment he realized she'd betrayed him. She dreamed of her mother's fabric shop, destroyed by a grieving man's revenge. She dreamed of all of it burning. When she woke up, Jisoo was there with coffee. David Chen wants to meet you, she said. Says he has something to give you. I don't want to see him. He said you'd say that. He said to tell you it's about your mother. Ada was up immediately. They met at the same bench in Olympic Park. David was waiting. Your mother's business, he said without preamble. I've transferred ownership of the competitor to her, all of it. The contracts, the client relationships, everything. She'll have her business back, better than before. You can't buy forgiveness. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to make amends for what I did. It's not enough. It will never be enough, but it's something. He handed her an envelope. Wire transfer confirmation. The business is hers as of this morning. And here, another envelope. Enough money to clear your family's debt. All of it. They're free. Ada stared at the envelopes. Why? Because you gave me what I needed. You kept your word. And because you didn't deserve what I did to you, this doesn't fix it, but maybe it helps. And Jaehyun, what happens to him now? I'm building a case, using his confession as the cornerstone. It will take time. Months, maybe. But eventually, he'll face justice for his role in Marcus's death. He'll go to prison. Probably, if the case is strong enough. If I can get cooperation from Korean authorities. If a lot of things. But at least now there's a chance. Ada looked at this man, who destroyed her life to save his partner's memory. Was it worth it? She asked. All of this, all the pain, all the manipulation, was it worth it? David was quiet. Ask me in a year, when the case is built, when Jaehyun is facing consequences, when Marcus's death means something, ask me then. And if the answer is no, then I'll have to live with that. Ada took the envelopes, stood up, started to walk away. Ada, David called after her. She turned. For what it's worth, I think you're extraordinary. What you did took courage most people don't have. Jaehyun is lucky to have known you, even if he's lost you now. He hasn't lost me, not completely, not yet. She walked away, back to Jisoo's apartment, back to the space between her old life and whatever came next. That evening her phone rang, unknown number. She almost didn't answer, then did. Ada, a woman's voice, unfamiliar. My name is Minjai, we met briefly, I'm Jaehyun's friend. I remember. He needs you, he won't say it, won't ask, but he needs you. The confession, it's destroying him, not because of what it means for his future, but because of what it cost you. Please, come see him, even if it's just to say goodbye properly. Ada closed her eyes. I can't, not yet. Then when? I don't know, maybe never, maybe tomorrow. I don't know anything anymore. He loves you, in case you were wondering. In case the doubt made you forget. He loves you more than he's loved anyone. Maybe more than he's capable of loving, and he's terrified he's lost you forever. He betrayed Marcus Chen. Yes, he did, and he'll pay for that, but he didn't betray you. Even when you wore a wire, even when you recorded him, he understood. He forgave you. Can you do the same for him? Ada didn't have an answer. She hung up, sat in silence, thought about everything. About love and justice, and the space between them. About Jaehyun and Marcus and David and her mother and all the people caught in this web of choices and consequences. About who she was, who she wanted to be, what she could live with. At midnight, she made a decision. She texted Jaehyun. Tomorrow, noon, the penthouse, we need to talk, really talk about everything. His response came instantly. I'll be there, thank you. Ada set down her phone. Tomorrow she would face him. Tomorrow she would decide if love could survive betrayal, if trust could be rebuilt after lies, if two broken people could build something real on honest ground. Tomorrow she would choose. And whatever that choice was, it would be hers. Finally, completely, undeniably hers. The confrontation is coming, the choice that will define everything. Ada and Jaehyun face to face with all the lies stripped away. Episode 7 will shatter you. Subscribe if you need to know what happens when two people who love each other have to decide if love is enough. Comment, can Ada forgive him? Should she? Because episode 7 is where everything changes, and you are not ready for what comes next.